let's talk about something positive about, you know, the memory of Fatal. You know, and I think that the most, you know, the biggest spotlight in Fatal's career in music was his verse on Hit 'Em Up.
Fatal got footage though, man. Fatal, from his solo shit to the things he did with Ja and Irv, you know what I mean? And then you know, he did a whole album down at Rap A Lot. Like Fatal literally was an assassin, man. You know what I mean? Like nobody wanted it with him lyrically. I don't care who they is, you know what I'm saying? They knew Pac had a beast on some lyrical shit with him that everybody had heard about already. You know what I mean? He had a record with Mike Geronimo and, you know what I mean, all those queens that he bodied before the Outlaw shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Fatal had been a monster. You know, his highlights is, you know, it's really because he an outlaw that he don't get the credit he deserved. You know what I mean? In a weird kind of way.
But that Hit 'Em Up first though.
Yeah. He bodied that too.
Were you there when he laid that verse?
Yeah, we was all there, yeah.
Okay, so you guys are in the studio. I assume it was Pac's idea to do Hit 'Em Up?
It was a collective idea. I'm not going to put all the responsibility on Pac, you know what I mean? It was an idea of a song that, you know what I mean, we came up with when he was locked up, when he was incarcerated.
So you guys decided to do Hit 'Em Up. Now, why did you decide to sort of flip the Get Money beat into Hit 'Em Up?
Well, I mean, that was really like our idea first. Pac had that idea when he was locked up, that he was going to use that beat. He already knew how he was going to do it and what he was going to do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he told Faith, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, I got this record and I'm going at your dude, you know what I mean? I don't know if he played it for or just told her about it.
While he was still in jail?
No.
Or he got out?
After he got out.
After he got out.
Met, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And so he was like, yeah, I got this joint. And you know what I mean? And we always felt like she went back and told Big, like, yo, Pac got this record coming at you. He's losing the don't look any further beat, whoom, whoom, whoom. And Biggie, being smart, was like, all right, I'm going to beat him to the punch real quick. I'm going to do Get Money and remix that and use the beat that I know he coming at me with. You know what I mean? So we was like, all right, we see that. But we still was like, all right, okay, you got that off, but watch what we do now. Because we had already had a version of Hit 'Em Up. We had did one prior to the version that y'all don't know. And real Pac fans and real Outlaw fans have heard this version.
Oh, really?
And they know about it, yeah.
It's out? Like, sort of?
It's been out. It's been out. It's one of those things that you got to go looking for. We did this one before Get Money came out.
Okay.
And then after Get Money came out, you know, we did another version and did it in a real song, because that was more like a freestyle.
Okay. So who did the first verse? I mean, who laid down the first verse?
On which version?
On the version that came out.
Pac.
You sometimes lay stuff in different orders, what I'm saying.
Nah, the way you hear it is the way it got done and the way we laid this shit. You know what I'm saying? If Fatal rap first on it, it was because he got done first out of the Outlaws.
So, Fatal had the second verse. Get out the way, yo, Big Smalls just got dropped. Lil Moo passed the Mac. Who's Lil Moo?
That's Napoleon.
Oh, that's Napoleon?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's saying Napoleon passed the Mac. Let me hit him his back. Frank White needs to get spanked right for setting traps. Little accident murderer. And I ain't never heard of you. What does that mean, little accident murderer?
Fatal talked about this in interviews. Like, y'all could go do y'all research, you know what I mean? But whatever he was saying was direct in its approach, you know what I'm saying, at that time. I'm talking about 20 years ago, you know what I mean? So I don't remember everything, but he done talked about that in interviews, what he meant by it, you know what I mean? Little accident murderer. And the streets know exactly what he mean when he said that too.
So, but he addressed the little accident murder. So I'm assuming that there was rumors of someone doing a murder, but it wasn't planned out or something like that, something of that sort.
One could assume that.
One could assume that.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can't elaborate on that.
Can't elaborate on it.
It's 2 generations ago, literally, man.
Okay.
You're talking about a dub.
All right,
There was a
fair
lot
enough.
going on at that time.
Fair enough. Okay. So Pac went first. Fatal went second.
He sure did.
Then Pac went again.
Pac was hype after he heard Fatal verse. He was like, I got another one.
Okay, so Fatal did his verse. Was Pac originally was just supposed to do one verse? Because two verse. I mean, granted, it's his song.
It was never really a plan when we was doing music, unless it was a plan. You feel me?
Okay, so
but it was just like we was going up in there. Pop was like, "We gonna do it tonight." You know what I mean? Johnny J and them had hooked up the beat, and you know what I mean, structured it a little bit more than the original version was, and everybody went to writing like we normally do, and you made the track according to, how raw your verse was, and Fatal went first and set the tone. He literally set the tone as far as the Outlawz is concerned, because Pac was like, y'all ain't even on my level. So he kind of basically was saying, I might not even be on this track no more because y'all ain't on my level. I'm gonna let my little homies go at y'all. But then Fatal went in there and just bodied it. Pac was like, I can't let that be my last verse behind this little nigga because he might, he might steal a whole song. Pac was competitive. We all was competitive in that nature as well. So, Pac was like, hell no. That verse ain't finna be my last verse. So he come in with his verse, another verse. He raised the intensity even higher. And then the song, you know what I mean?
Okay, so then Gaddafi went next.
Yeah.
So after the Gaddafi verse, you had the last verse.
Yeah.
So how much pressure did you feel at that point on this song?
I was competitive, man. I really was like, I'm about to go in there and body this whole track. So I really felt like that at the time.
So at the time you did, you felt like your verses were better than Pac's verse and everyone else's verse?
Absolutely.
As you should.
Absolutely, because I'm looking at it like this. First of all, I was a battle rapper before I got with Pac and got, more life experience. So all I really did was battle rap. So that was right up my level. That was me right there. Fatal was a battle rapper too, so that was good. That was,
Okay, so you say you're a beat biter. So you're talking about that actual beat on that song.
No doubt.
Them taking that beat and putting it out first.
But real hip hop heads know I took that line from MC Light, 10% diss.
How does that go again?
She said, you a beat biter, my style taker, tell you to your face you ain't shit but a faker. So I just sampled her, so to speak.
You quoted
and
her.
shot her out at the same time because Light and Pac was friends, you know what I mean? And MC Light was my favorite female rapper up until that point. You know what I mean? So when he did it, I already knew I was going to use that line. Like, oh, I know what to do with this.
A Pac style taker.
Yeah.
Why did you feel that Biggie took Pac style?
Well, I wasn't just talking about Biggie too. It was a lot of Pac style takers at that time. You know what I'm saying?
So you're not just talking about Biggie in your verse?
Nah, I'm not talking just about Biggie at all. If you listen to it, you know what I mean? I'm hollering at a few cats. You know what I mean? But of course it was a so-called Biggie diss, but it was other people that, you know what I mean, we was funking with at that time.
All right, Lil Cease, with Lil Cease in a choke. Had you run into Lil Cease at this point? I guess
but we had been around each other, you know what I mean, prior to this. You know what I'm saying?
Was there a reason why Lil Cease got mentioned in your verse?
Nah, we battle rapping, man. I'm going at everybody. You know, if I had known them other niggas' names, I'd have said their names too, but I didn't know everybody in the clique. You know what I mean? I knew Big and I knew Cease, and I had never even met Kim before.
Yeah, I mean, and there was no Google back then. You couldn't even really Google their
names. You know what I mean? Like, see what these niggas look like. And nobody had time for that shit anyway, you know what I mean? I was talking to the niggas I knew at that time, you know what I mean? Of course, everybody know we done since squashed that beef, and Cease is my brother, and you know what I mean? We got so much love and respect for each other at this point in the game. You know, when we get together, we laugh about that shit and really, you know, shake our head and go, you know what I mean? Damn, you know what I mean? Because it didn't have to be like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, to me, the rap shit was cool because that's battle. That's the nature of hip hop. And I love the competitiveness, the sport of it. You know what I mean? Since day one. You know what I mean? It was my sport of choice, literally. So that part about it, I feel good about. The so-called result and the way it ended is It's terrible
Fucked up.
for hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you finish your verse, and then Pac ain't done yet.
Absolutely not.
He
done.
was okay. So, cause let me show you. This is what's interesting about this song. It's got, you know, Tupac does the intro, Tupac does the first verse, Pac does the hook. He does an interlude after the hook. Fatal does his verse. Pac does the hook again. Pac does another verse. Gaddafi does a verse. You do a verse. And then Pac does the outro.
Of the century.
You say, now you tell me who won. I see them, they run. Is he referring to something that actually happened?
I think he probably was referring to the Soul Train event.
What happened in the Soul Train event?
I wasn't there, but from what I heard, when when Puffy and them was coming down the steps, they seen Pac. They said Puffy took off. You know what I mean? I don't think Biggie and them ran. You know what I mean? From what I heard, Biggie and Cease was you know, Biggie was just chilling. They said Biggie ain't say a word. He just was standing there looking like, you know what I mean, like, wow, this, you know what I mean, this used to be my nigga. But my niggas told me Cease was definitely barking. He was ready to square up. He was ready to get down for it. But they said Puffy took off. He might have jumped on top of a bus and did a backflip and a somersault. That nigga was up the street. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what Pac was referring to.
Okay. So, oh yeah, Mobb Deep, you want to fuck with us? So what was the Mobb Deep beef over?
He had heard that they had said something at a show or something like that. I think it might have been Shock G was in New York one time and was at a Mobb Deep show. I'm not really sure. And he might have gave Pac the word like, yo, they said some crazy shit at their show or something like that. You know what I mean? And
Back
Pac
then, someone will say something, and you'll just run with it. These days, you got to see the footage. Like, where's the footage at? But back then, someone could get in your ear.
There was no footage.
There was no footage. That's what I'm saying. Back
then, you're not going to just take information from anybody. You're always going to be selective with who you
Shock
get your
G's his man, so Shock G said it.
You know what I'm saying? But whatever the case may be, they got thrown into the fray as well. You know what I mean? And of course, we done seen them dudes too, and that beef is squashed, null and void. There's nothing even there to even continue 20 years later.
What about Chino XL? What was that about?
I think Chino XL had got caught saying something slick or something like that.
I think there was on a verse about Tupac in jail or something. Hold on.
Yeah, I think he says, you know, niggas with them punchlines, man. You know what I mean? Get themselves into a world of trouble and it ain't even necessary because you could pick a better punchline.
He said, government engineered like Ebola for this rap garage sale by this industry. I'm trying not to get fucked like Tupac in jail.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was
bad
kind
choice
of
of words.
That was
bad choice of words because first of all, you don't know if that happened. Did you see another man's penis? You know what I mean? Was you there to witness the act? And if you was, what is, you know what I mean? Was you in line? You know what I mean? So you basically reaching, and you reaching with the wrong one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you guys ever run into Chino XL or?
Never. But I think we ran into him post. You know what I'm saying? After Pac passed, I think we, you know what I mean? But you talking about a long time. I don't be remember a lot of this little shit. You know what I'm saying? But even with that, it was what it was. You know what I mean? It is what it is at this point. Bad choice of words, though.
Okay, and then he goes on, says a few more things, and then at the end he says, "Fuck him, we bad boy killers."
Mm-hmm.
And I, you know something, I think one of the standout lines that I think doesn't really get enough attention, which I thought was just sort of like a very Tupac thing to say. He said, "Fuck Bad Boy as a staff, record label, and as a motherfucking crew." I feel that's one of these lines that only Tupac could really personify. Say,
ad-lib.
Not so much.
That's
just
not even. Look, I didn't even know he was going to do that. None of us did. I thought the song was over.
Okay.
I'm like, what else needs to be said after my verse? It's like this. Y'all might as well just press the stop button. Nah.
So after you did your verse, he just hopped in the booth and said, "Hold on, I got something else to say."
I think, you know what I mean, we was chilling, listening to the song a few times, and like, yeah, this shit is gonna be a problem when it come out. And then he was like, he probably told Tommy D, hold on, Tommy, turn the mic back on. And then went in there and just, and you know what I mean, I've said it before in other interviews, when he did that part, I don't know what the hell he was in the booth doing, but it was shorting the mic out. It kept shorting the mic out.
So he had to redo it a couple times?
They had to stop him. He would pick back up where he was at, where he stopped at. But it kept shorting the mic out. You can literally hear it in the song. Most people probably thought it was some fly technical shit that they was doing, but it was really because he was literally shorting the mic out.
Because he was yelling too loud?
Probably. He probably was in there like a fucking bat out of hell, and it was too much for the mic.
So he does the outro.
Does the outro.
And then the song is done. Did you guys do any ad-libs after that, or that was pretty much it?
Nah, that was it.
That was it.
That was a one take. Everybody did their shit literally in like one take.
You rewind, and you play the song from beginning to end. Did anyone have any idea what this was gonna actually trigger?
I mean, how can you have an idea? It was really like, to me, I'm gonna tell you how I felt about it. I felt like it was a dope diss track. You know, I was a fan of BDP and The Bridge Is Over and MC Shane, you know what I'm saying, Kill That Noise and LL and Kumo D's battle and him and Ice-T. I was always a fan of the battle, and my favorite up until that point was No Vaseline. So I wanted to do a harder diss record than No Vaseline. I thought No Vaseline was the hardest diss record to date at that point.
Well, when you look at, let's just do a random search. Greatest diss songs of all time. This is the complex top 50 diss songs of all time.
The fucking magazines never, ever show us no fucking love.
This is interesting. So the number one diss song, according to Complex, is Takeover. Number 2 is Hit 'Em Up.
See what I'm saying? Takeover, love that record. I felt like I like Takeover better than I like E.D.I, me personally.
Me too.
As far as a hip hop record and as far as the production and the way Jay set it up, I like Takeover. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't think that's better than No Vaseline.
So Double XL did a top 20 diss songs of all time. Number 1 is Hit 'Em Up. Number 2 is Takeover. Number 3 is Either. They actually put South Bronx, and then number 4 is South Bronx. Number 5 is Bridge Is Over.
I don't think
Bridge Is Over, I thought was a much stronger diss record, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But even The Bridge Is Over, to me, would be, you know what I mean, number 2 or 3.
Yeah, I agree.
And fucking No Vaseline coming right behind that.
Yeah, No Vaseline should have been, No Vaseline is number 8 on the list.
That's ridiculous.
The Bitch in You is number 6. That's
crazy.
That's crazy. Shout out to Common, but the bitch, but there's
he
no
did his
way.
thing.
No Vaseline ain't fucking with the.
Come on.
No Vaseline is superior to the Bitch in You in terms of diss records. That's just how it is. I'm sorry, Common.
Definitely.
It is what it is.
No disrespect to Common, because I felt like he got off with the Bitch in You. That was unexpected. That's why people give Common a lot of credit, because nobody expected that coming from him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But Hit 'Em Up, a lot of people will consider that the greatest diss record of all time. And I think part of the reason was the harshness of it.
I think the outro is really, you know what I mean, what put that record on another plane.
He said, "Fuck you and your motherfucking mama." Like I feel there were certain lines that were crossed that hip hop had never really crossed. Like no one said "fuck your mama" on a hip hop song.
Nah, sure they did.
Who?
Sure they did.
Who?
Come on, you could go back and listen to it, but
who says "fuck your mama"? Who said "fuck your mama" before Hit 'Em Up?
Niggas might have said something worse than that.
Okay, who said fuck your mama on a hip hop song? Because
Google it.
Because I feel that even in hip hop,
it was niggas talking about eating a nigga face off on rap records.
That's a little different than saying "fuck your mama," Because a lot of that
but when you talking about a history that's prominent in the black community called the dozens or ranking or hiking or whatever you call it, lines get crossed. Especially when you trying to take a nigga down.
Right.
Verbally. Not physically, but verbally. This is prominent in the black community going years before Hit 'Em Up.
Well, it starts.
You know what I'm saying? Your mama so fat, your mama so stupid.
Right.
Nigga,
Right, but
your
you
mama,
don't
your
say
mama
fuck
this,
your
your mama
mama.
that. Like, niggas done, it's anything goes when it comes to your mama. Your mama could get it, literally.
All right.
Verbally, she could get it.
All right, well, let's think about how.
So that wasn't really, as far as hip hop records, and because it was Tupac,
Yeah.
it definitely became a more heightened situation. Anything Pac said got a lot more, publicity, and people took it a little bit more serious than rapper A or rapper B because of Pac's reputation. You know what I'm saying? Who he was. When Pac said something, niggas was like, hey, that actually might happen.
Okay, why did it start off with him saying, I ain't got no motherfucking friends?
I don't know. You would have to ask him that. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here like this, Vlad. Like, I'm about to body this record. I don't care what's going on right now. Oh, yeah, that verse is hot.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I love everybody. I think all my niggas got off on it. But as a competitive type of thing and wanting to make the song dope, I was like, my verse, I'm about to come in here and make sure I end it off right.
Well, when the song started out, when he said, that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker, that's when everyone knew that this was not going to be a typical diss song. This wasn't going to be an I'm styling on you diss song. Like, I'm more lyrical than you. I can flip my shit better than you. This set a tone.
This ain't no freestyle battle or you niggas getting killed with your mouths open. Like, but lyrically, Pac is on some shit. You know what I mean? You got to respect his bars. Lyrically, he on some shit, but it's because of what he's saying and the fact that he's saying it that makes this record just a little bit more intense than you know what I mean, all the other diss records that came before that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say...
And this diss records that came out after that I felt like was pretty... Like, Nas went in on Ether, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nas, he was emotional on Ether. He really went in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He dick-sucking lips and all kind of shit. Like, he crossed certain lines that in the hood, we really don't cross like that. But in the spirit of the sport, and when you talking about ranking and wanting to take somebody down, anything goes. All is fair in love and war. So you might say some outlandish shit.
I would say that Hit 'Em Up is the greatest diss record of all time.
I would agree.
That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I'm biased, but I would agree with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm a fan of the whole genre of diss records. You know what I'm saying? I think it's been a lot of classic hip hop that were diss records. You know what I mean? I think Hit 'Em Up because of how all four of us went in. You know what I mean? Lyrically, bar for bar, and then of course his soliloquy at the end.
I'm me, so I'm gonna always, give my opinion on things. And I saw Lauren London come out at the BET Awards, and she was like she had gained a little weight. So I said, "Yo, Lauren London left her waist trainer at home." Ha ha ha.
Always a big lean drinker, like heavy on lean. You feel me? Like I'll drink a 6 or pour a 4 in a 20 ounce or drink a 8 or 10 or 12 in one day. That's the type of shit I did.
How young were you when you first started?
Like when I first started drinking lean, like 15.